Welcome back into lesson 4, where we'll be talking about compliance and servicing. Most institutional note buyers run compliance checks through a vendor, and it's worth knowing some high-level information in case you encounter these issues when potentially selling a loan to an institutional buyer. It's also not a bad idea to run compliance checks when buying certain loans for yourself. We'll start by discussing the Truth in Lending Act, or TILA. TILA prescribes uniform methods for computing the cost of credit, for disclosing credit terms, and for resolving errors on certain types of credit accounts. A Truth in Lending disclosure statement provides information about the cost of one's credit, including the APR, or annual percentage rate. The loan estimate form took effect on October 3rd, 2015, and actually replaced the Truth in Lending disclosure statement for most loans. Another hot topic with compliance is the high-cost loan. And historically, these transactions have been referred to as HOEPA loans or Section 32 loans. The Home Ownership and Equity Protection Act, or HOEPA, was enacted in 1994 as an amendment to the Truth in Lending Act. The objective was to address abusive practices in refinances and closed-end home equity loans with high interest rates or high fees. Now, in a note sale, the topic of Regulation Z, or Reg Z, occasionally comes up. Reg Z defines a higher price mortgage loan as a loan on a primary home with an APR that exceeds the average prime rate by 1.5% or more for first liens, or by 3.5% or more for junior liens or second liens. So again, it's simply a good idea to be aware of compliance topics and consider compliance checks through a reputable vendor before buying a loan. Let's shift gears and talk about loan servicing. It's very difficult to effectively manage assets without effectively managing the servicer of those assets. Loan servicers fulfill a lot of functions depending on the level of servicing. And there are really two major categories of servicing: standard servicing and specialty servicing. Standard servicing is typically associated with performing loans. The specialty servicing is typically associated with non-performing loans. So what does standard servicing consist of? This would be your payment, posting, disbursement of funds to the lender, reporting, and payoff and reinstatement letters. All pretty basic stuff. And the loan setup cost generally ranges from about $45 to $150 per file, depending on whether the loan is an ARM or adjustable rate mortgage, or a HELOC, or if it has escrows or impounds, or if it's an active BK, has a forbearance plan or complex loan modification, or if it's a partial note sale. And the monthly servicing costs generally range from about $15 to $35 per month. So those are the basics of standard servicing. Activities associated with specialty servicing include sending late notices, borrower outreach calls, the skip tracing to find a borrower, coordination of foreclosure and bankruptcy relief, facilitating forbearance agreements, short sale coordination, and even managing eviction details. So much more complicated than the standard servicing. And the setup costs generally range from about $45 to $75. The monthly servicing costs generally range from about $65 to $95 per month, depending on how high touch the servicing is in terms of loan workouts and outreach by the servicer. So let's recap. It's important to be aware of compliance topics and use a reputable vendor to complete compliance checks before you buy loans. There are two main types of loan servicing: standard servicing and specialty servicing, and each consists of activities that are critical to servicing your loan. I will see you in the next lesson.